5 years from now, millions of people will tell themselves the same story. AI took my job. Most of them will be wrong. Because throughout history, technology rarely replaced people. It replaced people who refused to adapt. The printing press didn't eliminate writers. The internet didn't eliminate businesses. Smartphones didn't eliminate professionals. Each new technology created a new advantage for the people willing to learn it first, and now it's happening again. The uncomfortable truth is that you're not competing against artificial intelligence. You're competing against someone who knows how to use it better than you do. Think about two people, same age, same experience, same industry, same opportunities. One spends the next 12 months ignoring AI because it's confusing, overwhelming, or feels like a passing trend. The other spends 30 minutes a day learning how to use it. Just 30 minutes. Who do you think wins? The answer isn't even close, because AI is doing something humanity has never seen before. It's giving ordinary people access to capabilities that used to require entire teams. One person can now conduct research like an analyst, write like a copywriter, brainstorm like a creative department, organize information like an assistant, review contracts, build presentations, analyze markets, create content, and do it all in a fraction of the time. That's not science fiction. That's Tuesday morning. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think the goal is to let AI think for them. That's exactly how they become replaceable. The people winning with AI are not outsourcing their brains. They're outsourcing repetitive work. There's a massive difference. They use AI to gather information, then they apply judgment. They use AI to generate ideas. Then they apply creativity. They use AI to save time. Then they invest that time into things machines cannot do. Building trust, leading people, negotiating, selling, creating relationships, making difficult decisions when there isn't a perfect answer. Those skills are becoming more valuable, not less. Because when information becomes cheap, judgment becomes expensive. When content becomes abundant, attention becomes valuable. When everyone has access to the same tools, the human behind the tool becomes the differentiator. That's the shift most people still haven't noticed. The future isn't being divided between people and machines. It's being divided between people who know how to work with machines and people who don't. And the gap is growing every day. Imagine two business owners. The first spends 10 hours every week writing emails, creating reports, organizing documents, researching competitors, and handling repetitive tasks. The second uses AI to complete most of those tasks in a fraction of the time. What happens next? The second business owner suddenly has extra hours every week, hours to meet clients, hours to improve products, hours to build partnerships, hours to think strategically. Eventually, the difference becomes impossible to ignore, not because one person worked harder, because one person was amplified. This is why some of the most successful professionals in America aren't asking, will AI replace me? They're asking, how can I become irreplaceable with AI? That's a completely different mindset, and it leads to completely different outcomes. Because the highest paid people in the next decade won't necessarily be the people with the most technical knowledge. They'll be the people who combine human strengths with technological leverage, people who know how to communicate, people who understand psychology, people who can persuade, people who can lead, people who can build trust, people who can make decisions when the data is incomplete. AI can assist all of those skills, but it cannot become them. And that's where the opportunity lives. History has never rewarded the people who waited for certainty. The people who benefited most from change were usually the ones willing to learn, while everyone else was debating whether the change was real. So maybe the question isn't whether AI will take your job. Maybe the real question is this. A year from now, when someone with fewer resources, less experience, and less talent is outperforming you, will it be because they were smarter, or will it be because they learned how to use the tools you chose to ignore? The people who thrive in the AI era won't be the ones who fear the technology. They'll be the ones who learn how to direct it. Because in the end, AI is just a tool. But leverage changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, we've been asking the wrong question this entire time. Because after all the headlines, after all the debates, after all the fear about artificial intelligence, there's something far more unsettling. What if AI isn't exposing the future? What if it's exposing us? Think about it. For years, people blamed a lack of opportunity, a lack of money, a lack of resources, a lack of connections. But now, for the first time in history, billions of people have access to a tool that can teach them almost anything, help them build almost anything, help them create, learn, write, sell, analyze, communicate, and solve problems faster than ever before. And yet, most people will never use it to change their lives. Not because they can't, because they won't. Because the greatest limitation has never been technology. It's been human nature, comfort, distraction, procrastination, the desire to stay exactly where we are while dreaming about somewhere else. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. The biggest threat in the age of AI isn't that a machine becomes smarter than you. It's that someone with your same potential decides to act while you hesitate. Someone with your same fears, your same doubts, your same 24 hours. And 1 year from now, their life looks completely different. Not because they were lucky, not because they were gifted, because while everyone else was watching the future happen, they participated in it. And maybe that's what makes this moment so important. Because years from now, people will look back at this period the same way we look back at the birth of the internet. There will be two groups, the people who adapted and the people who wish they had. No one knows exactly what the world will look like 10 years from now. But one thing is certain, the people who learn to work with these tools will have opportunities that previous generations could barely imagine. And the people who ignore them will spend years trying to understand how they fell behind. So maybe this was never really about artificial intelligence. Maybe it was about a decision every person eventually has to make when the world changes. Move with it, or watch it move without you. Because one day you'll wake up, you'll look at your life, your career, your business, your bank account, and you'll realize this wasn't the moment AI changed the world. It was the moment the world asked you a question, and your answer changed everything.